Hello, this is Sunny from Sunny Side Up Crafts, and today I'm going to do an honest review of the Schacht Ladybug spinning wheel. So let's go have a look. Okay, so here is the Ladybug in all her glory. This was the first wheel that I ever bought, and so it's always going to have a special place in my heart because she was my firstborn. This is, again, the Ladybug, and it is, gosh, I love this wheel so much. It is a workhorse, people. You can put this thing through, and I have put it through so much spinning, so much work. And this is still as beautiful and as flawless as the day I bought it, minus a little dust because I don't dust enough. It is a solid wheel. I have had this thing knocked over by my crazy little children multiple times. They're like, "Oh, sorry." And I'm like, "Oh, no, my wheel." And then like nothing. I stand it up and it is perfectly fine. I will not say the same about some other wheels that I've had that my children have also knocked over. This one is solid. It is so good. The other thing I want to say about this wheel is that I bought it because it was advertised as a good starter wheel, right? I don't like that term very much because it implies that you will outgrow it, like a starter home, right? This is not a wheel that I have outgrown, at least not yet. I have been spinning for many, many years, and I still use this multiple times a week. Still to this day, even though I have other spinning wheels. That's how much I love it. That's how much I depend on it. And I really find that this is a powerful production wheel. So today in this review, I'm going to talk about some of the features that I like. I'm going to show you a little bit about a little demo of how it spins. And then I will talk about the one thing that I think is an area for improvement. So let's get started. So one of the features about this wheel that I really love, again, is the sturdiness and its design. Part of that comes from the fact that it is this like really sturdy wood. And it's got these built-in handles, which is really very handy. I can just pick it up like this and move it to wherever I want. It is light, so I can do that. It also has two additional handles, one back here and then one on the other side. The other thing I like about its design is this really attractive red drive wheel, which I think makes it very distinct, very different from other wheels. They also do these cute little things where every wheel has this little ladybug. Mine is down here. You can see it's so cute. It's on a different spot on every single ladybug wheel. Isn't that adorable? The other nice thing about this is the built-in lazy Kate. And it's a tensioned lazy Kate, meaning that it gives you a little bit of a resist, right? That's what this little band is doing here. It's tensioning it. So when you're applying, the bobbins aren't like free spinning on these rods. That's really important when you're applying something more consistent. So I really like that it's on board. I just need to take this wherever I want, and I can spin, I can ply, I can do what basically accomplish anything I want on this wheel. So it's got the capacity for 4. So 1, 2, and then I have this peg in here, and this one I haven't even installed because I haven't done a 4-ply in a really long time. Okay, but you can do up to a 4-ply on this wheel, just on board, which is really, really cool. The other thing I'll show you when I start to spin on it is these huge, very easy to treadles. Okay, they're really big. I have a size 7.5 foot, and look how like spacious it is. I can just plop my feet on whatever part of this treadle. What do you call this? The feet, the treadles. You can, treadle so easily on these because they are spacious. Okay, and the action is very, very smooth. All right, the other thing I want to point out before I start spinning is that I have on here the bulky plier flyer. That's this part of the machine right here. That's the flyer that has this big orifice, and the front maiden. And then it also comes with a big jumbo bobbin. That's this guy. Okay, but I just have a regular 4-ounce bobbin on it for now to show you what it looks like. Okay, so let me spin on it a little bit so you guys can see it in action. So to demonstrate, I'm going to show you how it spins thin. I think for me, the best indicator of how well a spinning wheel handles itself and how well it drives is by spinning something as consistently as you can. So I have here a fingering with singles that I'm actually going to just leave as a singles from an art bat. So let's get started. So it's very quiet, not as whisper quiet as, you know, like the Matchless, which is also by Schacht. There's this bit of silk here that's always a little different to draft than the wool, but here we go. All right. So smooth, so nice. So as you can see, you can sort of see my feet in this video, in this part of the video. Very easy treadle, very soft, easy to learn on this, and easy also to maintain. It's also, I have it set in Scotch tension. I forgot to mention that you can have this set in Scotch or you can do double drive. So I have this actually set in Scotch because I have other wheels that do double. So I wanted, for versatility's sake, I could keep this one in Scotch. And so that's what this little thing is here. I can loosen or tighten to change my tension or how much of a pull the wheel is having. Okay, so that's how I have it set right now, and I could probably just use the regular flyer that it came with, given that I'm spinning this sort of finer singles, but I keep the bulky flyer plier on all the time because I don't like changing it out. Okay. So in terms of the learning curve on this thing, I think this is one of the easier wheels to learn how to spin on because it has 2 options for tension. It's got this big, nice, easy to treadle feet. It's got really sort of onboard features like the Lazy Kate. It also has the, you know, the carry handles that make it very easy to learn on and to take with you wherever you go. And I'm sorry, I'm just getting so into spinning this that I'm like not talking. Oh, look at this sparkle. Don't you love it when you get to spots like this in an art bat? It's just like the best thing ever. Okay, so anyway, let me like get back into this. Okay, so the one thing I mentioned, that there is one thing that I don't love about this wheel, and that is actually not about the wheel itself, but about the bulky plier flyer. I love this thing, okay, except for one tiny functional difference. It's got this big old orifice here, check. It's got this big opening here, check. It's got a big initial guide hook here, check. And then when you get to these flyer hooks, they're like, I don't know, half, maybe 3/4 of the size of the orifice. So if you're spinning something really chunky and really taking up most of this orifice, okay, it does fine here, it does fine here, it does fine here, and then it gets stuck a little bit here. So I've had many times where I have to, especially when I am plying the big chunky super coil yarn, I have to shove the coils into this hook. I have tried all kinds of things before I just had to give up and order a different spinning wheel, to like finagle a paper clip to use as a guide hook. It was so janky. Janky of me, not of Schacht, to try to like mitigate that problem, but it didn't work very well, which is why I had to buy another wheel that was specifically for plying big chunky super coil yarns. But I think for the most part, if you don't mind a little occasional shoving, this is totally, totally fine. It is such a good wheel that even when I bought that second wheel that I thought I was going to love and didn't, that's the worker bee. You can see my review of that. I still came back to this wheel. I was like, I will take the shoving of the coils into those guide hooks over using the other wheel, because I love this wheel so much. It is so responsive, it's so well built, it is so sturdy, it is so powerful too. The tension is great. People say that Scotch tension isn't, you know, as strong as Irish tension, and sure, I do agree with that, but it is still pretty darn strong. I mean, like, you know, I don't have this cranked at all, and it is already like giving me a really nice pull. And so even after I bought that other Spinolution wheel, I still came back to this one. And this was like half the price of that wheel. Isn't that silly? So I think that that's the one thing. It's just this one, you know, the guide hook size that I find slightly frustrating. Schacht, I was talking to other people about this, and we said, if only Schacht would create this, you know, a different piece for this part of the flyer, then you would like have the market. I would not need another wheel. I would just use this for all of my fine and bulky spinning needs. But it's just this part right here that I am begging them to please modify or look into. But that's it. Overall, I think this is such a good wheel. I think that this, you know, I'm never going to get rid of it. This is going to be with me forever. I love it so much. Again, even though it was quote unquote my starter wheel, I really didn't buy it with the intention of it being my starter wheel, because I didn't think that I could afford more wheels at the time, or that people owned more than one wheel, and now I do. But it really, I still use it multiple times a week. I think that it is so versatile. It is so easy to learn on. It is a enjoyable spinning experience. Schacht is known for their craftsmanship. It is so well built. Like I said, this has been knocked over by my rowdy children many times, and it's still fantastic. There's no rattling, there's no wonkiness. All it needs is an occasional oiling here, here, and here, and that's it. I guess I should oil some other parts, but I really rarely do. So that's it. I hope this helps you to make decisions and informs you about the wheels that are out there. And I would love to hear about your experience if you've ever spun on a Schacht Ladybug. But I just love it so much. It's my baby. Okay. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope this is helpful. Take care.